I'm submitting my resignation effective immediately. You got enough lawyers in the room.
Good.
You don't.
Good.
Wow, I don't even know where to start with this circus. This is pretty embarrassing. I think y'all should all be embarrassed. We've lost 2 attorneys in the last week.
Okay, guys, so now that you can play recording devices, because you used to not be able to, I will be bringing recording devices from you, and you. I have some on you, too, so I'm going to play them every time I come to these meetings, because you're not supposed to be allowed to do that, and that's why I haven't publicly showed video. But now I will, and we'll do it every time I come here with everything that these people do wrong. It's awesome. I got all kinds of on you, boy. It's going to be great.
That's true. I am running. And if it's that seat that I'm going to take, I'm not going to sit in that seat because I'm going to have it burned. Because I would never sit in something that you've been in for the crook that you've been off all these years.
Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to take a look at what happened at the Aransas Pass City Council meeting that took place on October 21st, 2024. And buckle your seatbelt because this is going to be a wild one. Thomas Gwaltz, who was recently brought in to help fix all the mess that the last attorney let the city get into. Thomas was advising the city to have an audit, and this scared the crap out of city manager Gary Edwards so bad that he recently resigned. Well, pressure was put on Thomas Gwaltz, and he recently resigned too. So we're going to start this video right after the new city attorney is sworn in, and that's when this shit show is going to begin. Because minutes after the new city attorney is sworn in, he's going to get upset and rage quit. And from what Jason told me, it was because Jason was correcting him about the Open Meetings Act laws. Let's get into it.
Now we're going to go to citizens communication.
What happened to city council member announcements?
What's that?
What happened to city council member announcements? Number C. First page,
Let's
man.
see.
See, city council
Yeah, it doesn't have
announcements.
nothing underneath it.
I got something I'd like to say.
Not on the agenda, but...
City council member announcements. I have something
Yes,
I'd
sir,
like
but
to say.
there's nothing underneath it, like...
It doesn't have to be Mayor.
A, B,
That's
or
the
C.
general
Only
rule.
announcement connected to headphones from Kathleen. Is that okay?
Go ahead, Rodney.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to talk to this committee, or this bunch of citizens out here concerning the way that the city attorney was, and I'm going to put it in my words, run off from this city because of misnomers and misfacts and lies that were told. Councilman Joe Dominguez was not at that meeting to be able to assist or to say anything about the city attorney. They told him that the deal was done. It wasn't done. There was one more day after that meeting where we could have kept the city attorney had we had the votes there. But outgoing city manager Gary Edwards told everybody that there was 3 votes to fire the city attorney or he could resign. He decided to send in his letter of resignation in lieu of being fired. His resignation was held. We told him not to do it. We weren't going to accept it. We had the meeting for it. We had the votes not to accept his resignation. But Councilman Dominguez was told that it was a done deal. It was over. This whole deal stemmed from the Charter Review Committee where Mr. I'm not going to say his last name because I'll get it wrong, but Thomas G. stood up there at that podium and made the comment that people don't trust government. People don't trust local government. Is there anybody in here that can tell me they trust government? After what you've seen in this council, do you trust your government right now? You're one of the few.
No.
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 That is probably the most of the people that do not trust government. And why should they trust us? They ran a $16 million bond underneath y'all would not let y'all vote for it because they didn't think you were smart enough to. So they didn't let you vote for it. I'm gonna bet you everyone in here, if you would have had the option to vote for that bond to restore the police department and rebuild another fire department, I want to bet you every one of you would have voted yes for it. It would have, had it been on the ballot.
Been on the ballot, yep.
Am I correct?
Yep.
Very small portion.
That's all that had to be done was put on the ballot and to tell people that you trust them because you want their trust. And because of that, we know, I wasn't here then, but I don't feel like you trust us now anyway because of things like that. And things like were done to that city attorney. He spoke the truth and he hurt two people's feelings. Oh my gosh. I've been in public service all my life. I know what it's like to work for the people. Mr. Valdez, I have nothing against you. I know you're a good attorney. I know you're going to be a judge, but the way that you were brought in here was not right. They should not have fired or run off our city attorney who was trying to help this council, was trying to help this city, was trying to do something for this city that the former attorney got us sued every time we turned around. And they allowed it because they kept that city attorney till it finally got unbearable and they had to do something about it. Mr. Thomas was teaching us how to run these councils correctly, how to get that charter changed and renewed and brought up to speed because it hadn't been done in 4 years and it wasn't done very good then. So everybody can think what they want. But the real reason is because the man was good for this city, but he wasn't good for a couple people.
I wonder why.
Yeah, I wonder why myself.
The $1 in and out, I could get it.
Okay,
You done? Were you ready to
Joe,
go?
would you like to say anything?
Come on, Joe.
Well, just on the, just on the October 8th, Randy, you called, and your question to me was, did I visit with Mr. Edwards? The answer was no.
Did you tell Mr. Edwards that you'd vote to fire Thomas?
I didn't even talk to Mr. Edwards that whole week.
Mr. Edwards told me he had 3 votes. 2 times he told me he had 3 votes. One time he changed it to, I have 2 votes now, and one came in later. Then he changed it to, I had 1 vote, and I talked to the mayor, and then we had the votes. The lies caught up with Mr. Edwards. And I was not allowed to tell the truth in the executive session. I was called a liar. Numerous times by a couple of people that continually called me a liar. I don't lie. I'll tell you how it is. You may not like it, but I don't care. I'm not going to lie to you. Would you have voted to terminate Thomas?
yeah, sure.
I was not going to accept it.
You were not going to accept his resignation? There you have it, folks. In a nutshell. We all got mad at Joe because he didn't show up at the meeting. I believe what he was told, it wasn't necessary for him to be at the meeting. Right?
Correct.
By who?
So, by the 8th, let's see, October 8th, about 8:59, one question I have that's lingering is, if we were in executive session October 7th, how did that email leak out?
Well, I don't know about that email. I didn't do that. But I can tell you that the 8 days didn't expire till the next day of us accepting the termination of Thomas.
So, Randy, when I talked to you on the 8th, the answer I got from Mr. Edwards was, had I been here, it wouldn't have made a difference. He was already gone.
That's not true. The date of his resignation letter was, and Carlos, correct me if I'm wrong.
May I interrupt? I don't know what item this is on the agenda, but I don't see it on the agenda.
It's under comments.
Comments are one thing, discussion is another.
Okay,
This
but
is
I'm
not a
doing
comment.
comments right now for these people to understand what
It's not on the
happened
agenda.
and why our attorney was
It's
run
called
off.
city council comments.
Comments is one thing, discussion is another. What you're having is a discussion on items that are not
In
on
other
the
words, you
agenda.
don't want these people to know what
It's
happened.
against the Open Meetings
It
Act.
violates the Open Meetings Act.
It's not, it's legal.
You got a lot of attorneys in here, you don't need me.
You're liars.
You got a room full of attorneys, you don't need another one. So, you know what? I'm gonna back out of this, this is not necessary. I'm submitting my resignation effective immediately. You got enough lawyers in the room.
Good.
You don't,
Good.
and you see? So, thank you all very much for
You do
considering.
what you
Thank you
wanna
for,
do,
thank you for the
Carlos.
vote, I appreciate it.
You
I
were
wanted
thrown
to come
into
here
this not
and-
knowing what was
and-
gonna happen.
And usually, when somebody's speaking on the floor, there's no interruption, but it's impossible here. I appreciate your consideration, I really do. I wanted to come here and help you, I really want to help you. But I can see it's gonna be impossible. I can see there's several sides involved, at least two major sides involved. I'm not here to take sides with anybody. I'm here to try to guide you, give you some advice, tell you when I think you're doing something wrong to get you back on track. But I can tell that you have more than enough legal assistance over here. You don't need my help. So thank you all very much. And with that, I'll take my leave.
Well, we
Thank you.
do need your help, and I'm sorry that this is happening.
Oh, I am too, but y'all don't need my help.
We need
Well,
your help.
we need your help.
We need your
but-
help or we
but-
can't have a meeting.
Well, you have more than enough people.
I see that.
Thank you all very much.
Well,
We're going to cancel the meeting. We can't have a meeting without an attorney.
Way to go, city attorney.
There was one other point. When somebody submits a resignation, you don't have to accept it. It's automatically effective after 8 days. And actually, you cannot refuse to accept the resignation. By law, you can't vote this, we're not going to take it. You can't refuse. You can accept it. If you accept it before the 8 days, it's effective when you accept it. If you don't accept it, after 8 days, it's automatic. You cannot refuse. You cannot vote to refuse. That's the law. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Have a good evening, sir.
well,
Ma'am,
how many more are we going to lose?
we can't have a meeting without an attorney. We can't have a meeting.
Should not run off the
Can't hold a
attorney.
meeting.
You can have a meeting, you
the
just
fact
can't
of the
go into
matter is-
executive session.
Sure.
Let me
Yes.
say
Let me
something real quick.
speak.
I need to interrupt. People, unless you ever sit on that city council, you don't know what goes on. We can sit out here and Bart can do what they're doing, but until you have a seat on that city council and you're controlled by the government and by Austin, Texas, you don't know what goes on. But yet, some of y'all can sit out here and complain about this, complain about that. Get your ass up and go run for office.
What
I'm
are you
telling you, I've been-
what are you here for? We will.
I'm here to listen to what goes on, brother.
Mayor. Sit down and listen then.
I'm listening.
Well, okay, now, we're gonna, I know. Okay, time out. Time out. Now, first of all, I have to say something, because in true reality, he was not fired, okay? He had the opportunity to sit down in executive session so we can have a conversation. But he's the one that chose to resign. Nobody asked him to resign. Even if he would have gone into that meeting at the end and we would tell him, hey man, you have two options, either resign or you get fired. There's nowhere in there that says that we fired him. He resigned on his own, no matter what he says. But reality is, reality is,
know
he
that.
resigned. He resigned.
No, you
Bottom line.
don't know that.
No, he
No,
resigned.
you don't know
Plain and
that.
simple. Now, it's like he said.
He was threatened.
No, he was not threatened. No, he was not threatened. He was
Mayor,
let's have a
council.
conversation. No, right now, but that is a true story.
Okay, but that item is not on the
Yes.
agenda for discussion, so I think we need to get back on the agenda, and the
Well,
next item is city.
okay, can we continue without a city attorney?
Yes, we cannot go, well,
We can't do the E
But
session.
we won't be able to do an executive session because we have no city attorney.
Okay. It's Jason Powell.
No, that's me. I'm sorry. I was laughing at that. That's awesome that she called herself out like that. It's pretty cool. How is she, Chief Blanchard? Good? Is that the one that you picked up in the car earlier today? Was that Stephanie? I got that recorded too. That's interesting, Randy. I actually have your back on that one, so thank you, sir. Okay, guys, so now that you can play recording devices, because you used to not be able to, I will be bringing recording devices from you, and you. I have some on you, too, so I'm going to play them every time I come to these meetings, because you're not supposed to be allowed to do that, and that's why I haven't publicly showed video. But now I will, and we'll do it every time I come here with everything that these people do wrong. It's awesome. I got all kinds of shit on you, boy. It's going to be great. Thank you for letting them do that, Ram. I appreciate you being a dumbass. All right. I find it interesting that Gary Edwards lied to the public about retiring, and Kerry and Ram both got on Facebook and said, oh, he's retiring because of his family, blah, blah, blah. Bullshit. Guess who called me? Nevada. Nevada Council called me. Wanted to know everything about him, just like Victoria Cops called me about him, and he didn't get the job. Guess who's not getting the job now? Gary Edwards. Why? Because I gave him a whole terabyte of data on him. Good job, Ram. Good job, Kerry, lying to the public. We appreciate it. Oh, by the way, you guys pretty much crippled me, but I came back. I got a thick back, kept working. Guess what? I sold my house. Guess who's moving to the middle of town? Jason Followell. Kerry, keep my seat warm. I'll see you next May. I'm sure this town is ready for some real auditing, some real justice, because all you pieces of shit steal from us, lie to us, and treat us like garbage. And y'all still let this man be here, which is mind-blowing. Joe, I'm going to give you credit today. Thank you for finally doing something right. We appreciate it. You haven't did nothing right the whole time. You just sat there like a coward, and today you actually showed us some grit. We appreciate it, sir. I'll be running next year, I do believe. I think Andy's going to be running next year, I do believe. And I heard the same thing about Stephanie Diaz, that you actually modified the job scope in order to give her the job, and there's some really good officers that you passed up. I know Tony Davila left because of you, and that's really sad because he was a really good officer. Anyway, I know most of y'all don't care because y'all don't even live here. Like Ram, you live in an apartment, what, 3307 with that little girl? The little girl that you say has a grandbaby from you? That's weird. That's like Jerry Springer shit, bro. That's right off of Harbor Bridge, right to the right? Yeah, it is. I got it recorded too. You know what? I'll come up here and play that next time too, Ram. Fuckers.
I'm sorry, but he's wrong. Okay, now we're going to go to Andy Davila.
How y'all doing? I can't top off what he said, but I can come up here with my own mindset on what he said, some of the stuff that he said. And Joe, I really got to hand it to you, man. I've known you forever, and you got a business, you got a family, and you got kids, and you're letting these people right here bring you down. And one of these days, you're not going to be on this council, and they're going to put you under the bus, or they're just going to throw you to the dogs, bro. What you did today showed a lot of guts, man, compared to so many things that you've done for them that's been wrong. And I was gonna come up here today and say a lot more to you in a more disrespectful way, but after today, well, I'll say it, you know, but after today it's hard to. But I just want you to realize, because I see you in church all the time, man, and then for you to sit there knowing that this thief right here, all he's done for Aransas is steal. Him and his brother came from a town that I heard they practically got kicked out of, and they come over here and they settle here and they get away with everything here, everything they've done. That's what I've been told from people from Gregory, so you can laugh, bro. I mean, I've been doing my little investigations myself, and this is the God-honest truth, what I'm saying. And so you need to watch out with people like this, because at the end of the day, they're going to go their way, and they're going to throw you under the bus. And that's true, I am running. And if it's that seat that I'm going to take, I'm not going to sit in that seat because I'm going to have it burned. Because I would never sit in something that you've been in for the crook that you've been off all these years. I don't see how a man like you could come into this town and love Aransas Pass like maybe some of us locals. And you're no different, Kerry. I've known you since 7th grade. And there's some things I can say about you that I'm just going to leave in the closet there, when you were a young lady, it wasn't good. But I'm just going to leave it there. But you've grown into your pittiness and your corruptness like you are now. You can ask your own kids. They don't even like you. But anyway, just to top off what he said, we will be here to take over next year, and we're going to get the respect from the citizens of Aransas Pass, because we're going to do the right thing, and we're not going to steal, and we're not going to be thieves. We're not going to take money from the budget. We're not going to do anything against the city or its members or anything. Anything that's corrupt from day one's going to stop. Thank you.
Wow, I don't even know where to start with this circus. This is pretty embarrassing. I think y'all should all be embarrassed. We've lost 2 attorneys in the last week, and it's not because of today. He didn't resign today over this meeting and Randy speaking out. He quit today because he saw the shit show that y'all are running. He saw that you ran a good attorney out and somebody who was here that was trying to straighten this city out. You can shake your head, Carrie, but he was pushed out because of you. You ran to Gary because your feelings were hurt, and y'all set this whole thing up, and you set Joe up at the same
That's your
time.
narrative, but that's not true.
Excuse me, I'm speaking. Joe, I've always thought of you as a man of integrity. I've worked with you from P&Z. I've worked with you on a professional level. I have referred your business, which I think is one of the highest honors you can give. And I'm happy to hear today that it wasn't you and you just basically telling the city to screw off last week. But I hope that you really see what they're doing to you. And you told me a long time ago when, or several months back when we were at the city cleanup, that you weren't going to be part of a clique. There's only one clique in this city, and they have dragged you in it, and if you're not in it, they are using you. And I hope you see it. Because you are a better man than this. And you're a better man that they're making you out to be. And they're using you. And they used you last week, and we lost an attorney that was trying to get this city out of lawsuits and not to beat them. The last 2 attorneys we had, lawsuits, and y'all kept them. And you don't follow the charter. You don't even know the charter. Carrie, you know that. We had this discussion this week, and then you're still sending Randy frickin' Roxanne's emails that say the state law. We have a charter. Read our charter. It'll tell you what you need to know. Everyone, you can go on Facebook. Everyone told you about the nepotism years ago. And you still want to quote Roxanne. That's really all I have to say. But quit embarrassing this town. This is a joke. Tonight's a joke.
I want to take 1 second. Followwell?
Yes, ma'am.
You have very good points. I beg you to change the way you speak.
I won't until they fix their charter.
I think you'd be a lot more effective. Again, what you all are doing, it saddens me.
I agree with you, Jason. That's fine. I know. That's fine.
I agree with you, and I agree with you. Like I said the last time, the image of this town is based on every one of you up here. And there's only a few people up here that give a damn about the town. I have complained about that Buck's Tire place across the street, which is a serious fire hazard. I couldn't do that on my property because you guys would do something to me about it. When are you going to do something about that, which is right across the street from everything here? My next door neighbor I've been complaining about for 3 years. It's a dump. Nobody lives there. The city shut the gas and the water off because they can't live there. When are you going to do something about that? We've asked about an abatement warrant so that I could help try to take that down. I know you're back there shaking your head, Tito. You know what? When are y'all going to do something? Y'all need to do something about this town. The image of this town relies on you guys. None of us. No wonder none of us out here trust you, because every time we come up here and complain about something, not a damn thing gets done, except for a few people on here that I won't say names. That's the problem with this town. This town, there's people that run this town that don't know how to run a town, and those people need to go away, and this town needs to be run correctly like a town should be ran. And I could ramble on for days, but I get too pissed off about it.
Okay, well.